Dear students, we are looking at another taxable benefit, which relates to loans and loan interest. Okay, so let's see how we can understand this one, loan interest benefit and loans. There could be a situation where the employer is generous, the employer writes off the loan. Okay, so if anything that has been waived off or forgiven to the employee, the whole amount becomes a taxable benefit for the employee. So, where an employer makes a loan to an employee or their relative by reason of employment, the loan itself is not a benefit unless the repayment is forgiven. Okay, the employer says, "Forget about it. I've given it to you." So the employer is generous, but when it comes to the tax authorities, they take it as a taxable benefit. The assessable amount is the amount of loan forgiven. So that's simple. Like whatever loan has been waived off, forgiven, will become the taxable benefit. Okay, so this is straight away easy. But the tricky part is when you get a loan and you are exempted from the interest, or you have to pay a less amount of interest. Okay, so in this case, we have this, the annual loan interest benefit is can arise if the loan is made at less than the official rate of interest. So you have to pay the official rate of interest of 3.75. So if you pay anything less than that, then that raises a taxable benefit according to how less you have paid. Okay, so the loan interest benefit cash equivalent is calculated on one of the two alternative bases. Okay, there is going to be this average method and there is a strict method. Okay, so let's look at the calculation for the average method, where you have loan outstanding at the start, loan outstanding at the end, because during the year there might be some repayments. So the amount of loan outstanding at the start might be different, and the amount of loan outstanding at the end might be different. So whatever is the value, you take the starting value, you take the ending value, you divide it by 2, and that is the value on which you calculate the rate. So you say you take this the L1 plus L2 divided by 2 multiply by the average of the fiscal rate of interest, whatever the employer wants you to pay. Okay, so this is the average method. Okay, so we're going to apply these methods in the activity below. However, let's look at the strict method, where if the taxpayer or the HMRC can elect which method to be used. So we're going to look at the the activities to understand. So for strict method, you have to see exactly for how many months a certain amount of balance was outstanding, and you would be calculating interest on that specific period, that specific number of months. And then if you have made a repayment, then a lesser amount would be calculated for the exact months for which that amount was outstanding. Okay, so let's see. There is this key point which are important. So, uh, we have those bases, the average and the strict, must be considered if the loan has been subject to repayment or addition during the tax year. Otherwise, only the normal basis would be applied. Okay, so the normal basis is just, this issue arises when there is a repayment during the tax year or there has been more loan taken up. Okay, otherwise you just take the amount of loan due, you multiply that to whatever interest that was due, that is the official rate of interest, and if you have paid less, then that would be the taxable benefit. Although the strict method requires calculation on a day-to-day basis, but for exam purposes, it's only monthly basis. Okay, for real life calculation, when a tax practitioner is calculating tax, they would have to do the calculation on a day-to-day basis. But when you're calculating for exams, you're only going to be considering it on a month-by-month basis. The official rate of interest will be provided in the exam. And if we now look at this example, we will have good understanding. Tate, an employee earning 30,000 a year, borrowed 20,000 from his employer in January 2025. You see the tax year starts from 6th of April 2025. In order to buy a yacht, the full amount of the loan, which carried interest at a rate of 1.5%. You see, there the official rate of interest is 3.75%. However, the employee was only required to pay 1.5%, was outstanding on 6th of April 2025. Tate repaid 8,000 of the loan on 1st of July 2025. So you see there is a repayment taking place during the year, and paid the interest to the employer of 250 for the tax year. So this is the total interest that he paid. They have also calculated that value to us. So we will be calculating the normal value, and we're going to deduct this value, and we're going to have the taxable benefit. So we can see like the tax year starts from 6th of April. So from April, May, June. For the first 3 months, the loan outstanding was 26,000. In between, there was a repayment of 8,000. So the loan is now 18,000 for the, like it is April, May, and June. So for the later 9 months, the loan was 18,000. Okay. So first of all, we're going to use the average method, and we're also going to use the strict method, and we're going to conclude which method is more beneficial for Tate. Okay. So let's see how we can understand this one. Let's take this one to the Excel sheet and understand. So let's have this new Excel sheet so that we could understand. We have to apply the average method and the strict method as well. So let's see how we can. Okay. So here we first of all use the average method. The average method, we would have to find the balance at the start, the outstanding at the start, which is 26,000. And then we take the outstanding balance at the end, because you see in the start, the outstanding was 26,000, and in between 8,000 was settled. So the closing balance outstanding is 18,000. So we divide it by 2 and we multiply this to 3.75% to calculate the value. So let's have this 26,000 plus 18,000, 44,000. So if we take this 44,000 divided by 2, 22,000, and we take 22,000 into this 3.75%. So from this amount, we less the interest paid. So which is, they told us that the total interest that he paid to the employer is 250. So we could say, according to the average method, the value of the is 575. Okay, so this was average method. You see, it was quite straightforward. Now, if we look at the strict method, let's see. So let's just say that this is the final answer. Now we look at the strict method. The strict method would be, you would see the exact months, as we see that from the start of the tax year, it's April, May, and June. The loan was 26,000. So we take this into 3.75%. And for the later 9 months, that is July, August, September, October, November, December, January, February, and effectively till March. So it was only 18,000 because there was a repayment. Okay. So 26,000, we take away the 8,000. So it was 18,000, and we multiply that to 3.75%. So we have this value here as, so the first one, let's calculate. We could just take it here. So we could have, okay, so it was just, we could do it easy by, Okay, so now we have this, first of all, 26,000 into 3.75%. So that is 9750. 9750 into 3 by 12. So that's one value. And the other one is your this 18,000 into 3.75, that is 675. So we take this 675 into 9 by 12. Okay, so this should be 26,000 into 375, that is 975. I had to take this 975 into 3 by 12. So this is the value, and so the total that we arrive at is, let's see, let's sum it up. So the total value is 570, and less the interest paid would be 250. So we arrive at 500 here. Okay. So in this case, the beneficial one is the strict method. Okay, we use the average method and we arrived at the value of 575, but when it came to the answer for the strict method, it is 500. So this is how we deal with this situation. Okay, so we got to know what is average method, what is strict method. We also came to know that this issue only arises when there is a repayment or more loan taken out during this year. So if we move on, so here we see there is okay, let's see.